It was a scorching Saturday afternoon in Lagos. The sun beat down hard, and the streets buzzed with chaos. Traders shouted to attract customers, children darted between stalls, and cars honked non-stop. Amidst the commotion, Calvin and his friend Bobby strolled along, both looking sharp in sunglasses, laughing loudly. Calvin had just received payment for a major online project. His spirits were high, ready to enjoy the weekend. As they reached a crowded junction, they noticed an old woman sitting on the ground. Her clothes were torn, her face worn out by hardship. She stretched out her hand and said, "My sons, please help me. I haven't eaten since yesterday." Calvin paused and reached into his pocket, pulling out a 500 naira note. But before he could hand it over, Bobby grabbed his arm. "Don't give her anything," he said quickly. Calvin looked puzzled. "Why not?" Bobby's eyes dotted nervously. "I've seen her before. She's always here on Saturdays. People say she's not just a beggar. They call her a spiritual beggar. They say she takes people's destinies." Calvin chuckled. "Come on, Bobby. She's just a poor old woman asking for help. Look at her. She's clearly suffering." Still holding his arm, Bobby whispered, "I'm serious. Some people aren't what they seem." Calvin pulled away, walked to the woman, and handed her the money. "Mama, take this. Get something to eat." She looked up at him and smiled, oddly, almost knowingly. "Thank you, my son," she said, her voice deep, far stronger than expected. Bobby stepped back, uneasy. Calvin, unaware of anything strange, turned and said, "Let's go eat." They entered a nearby restaurant, ordered food, and began eating. Everything felt normal, until Calvin stood to use the restroom. In the toilet, he unzipped, but nothing happened. He tried again. Still nothing. Confused, he drank water, pressed his stomach, but nothing worked. Panic rising, he rushed back to Bobby. "Something's wrong. I can't pee." Bobby's eyes widened. "Jesus! I warned you. That woman. You see now?" Calvin's hands trembled. "No. This can't be happening. Let's go back now," Bobby said. They hurried to the junction, but the woman was gone. They asked nearby sellers, but no one had seen where she went. Then a boy selling groundnuts said, "That woman, she always comes back in the morning. Try then." Bobby turned to Calvin. "Now do you believe me? You need to find her and beg her to undo this." Calvin sat on the roadside, head in his hands. "What have I done?" "We'll be here tomorrow," Bobby said. "Let's pray she shows up." Calvin barely slept that night. He tossed in bed, heart racing, body cold despite the heat. Bobby didn't sleep much either. At dawn, they dressed quickly and left. They hardly spoke on the way. Calvin filled with worry, Bobby with frustration. When they reached the junction, it was still quiet. No crowd yet. They waited under a small tree. Hours passed. Calvin's eyes scanned every passerby. The pressure in his bladder grew unbearable. Finally, around 10 a.m., she appeared, walking slowly, dragging her feet, leaning on a stick. She looked even more frail than before. Calvin rushed toward her and knelt. "Mama, please," he begged, voice shaking. "I only tried to help. I haven't been able to urinate since yesterday. I'm scared. Please help me." She looked at him and frowned. "Who are you? Did I call you? Did I ask for help?" Bobby stepped closer. "Don't lie, Mama. You know what you did. Return what you took. A crowd began to form. Some recognized her. Voices rose. She's the one I told you about, someone shouted. She takes people's blessings. Another yelled. Burn her. She's a witch. Some picked up sticks and stones. The noise grew louder. Calvin stood up, alarmed. No, don't touch her. Please. Bobby pulled at his arm. Calvin, are you crazy? Let them handle her. She stole from you. But Calvin turned to the mob. Please listen. I gave her money willingly. If I made a mistake, I'll deal with it. Don't hurt her because of me. The crowd slowly calmed. Some left in anger. One boy muttered, then suffer it alone. When the crowd disappeared, only Calvin, Bobby, and the woman remained. She looked at Calvin. You have a kind heart. That's why I didn't make it worse. But listen carefully. If you try to harm me or involve the police, nothing will change. This condition will stay forever. The only way out is to follow me. Bobby shouted. Never. This is madness. Don't go with her. You don't know her. She could kill you. Calvin looked at him, eyes heavy. What choice do I have? I'm dying inside. I can't live like this. Bobby shook his head. It's your life. But don't say I didn't warn you. He walked away. I warned you, Calvin. I did. Calvin stood silently, then began to follow the old woman. She led him through older parts of the city, where broken buildings lined dusty roads and foul smells hung in the air. After nearly 30 minutes, they arrived at a small mud house with a rusted zinc roof. The area was quiet. She pushed the door open and stepped in. Calvin followed. Inside, the room was dim and thick with the scent of herbs and smoke. She sat and pointed to a wooden chair. Calvin sat quietly. Then she looked into his eyes. You want your manhood back? Calvin nodded. Desperate. Please, Mama. I don't know what I did. I only wanted to help. She stood, entered a small room, and returned with a photograph. She held it out to him. It showed a woman, large, round, dressed in a red wrapper, smiling broadly, a gap in her front teeth. She looked around 45. The old woman placed the photo in Calvin's lap and said, That's my daughter, Omok. She's 45. No husband, no child. No man has ever truly looked at her. You will marry her. Calvin stared at her, shocked. Mama. What? You said I should. What? She didn't blink. You heard me. Marry her. If you agree, your manhood will return before the wedding night. Refuse, and it's gone forever. You'll remain a man only by name. Calvin's skin grew damp with sweat. Why are you doing this? What did I do to deserve this? All I did was give money to someone in need. Was that so wrong? She looked at him coldly. I never begged you. You forced your help on me. Now you must carry the weight of your actions. Calvin raised his voice, desperation in every word. Mama, I have someone I'm supposed to marry in 2 months. Her name is Cynthia. Our wedding cards are printed. This will destroy everything. That's not my concern, she replied flatly. You must marry Omok. Like her or not, she will be your wife. Refuse and forget your manhood. Calvin stood abruptly, dropping the photo. This is wickedness. You're destroying someone's life to fix your daughter's. Why not pray for her instead of forcing someone into misery? The woman rose, slow but firm. You have 2 days. Think well. If I don't see you with an answer by then, I'll turn your manhood to stone. Talk too much, and you'll wake up a goat. Now leave. Kelvin didn't wait. He rushed out of the house and didn't stop until he reached the road. His legs trembled. His heart felt like it would collapse under the weight of everything. He sat by the roadside, lost in thought. If he agreed, Cynthia would be gone. If he refused, he would be ruined. Just 2 days, and his life could shatter completely. The woman's voice echoed in his head. Marry my daughter or lose your manhood forever. He couldn't believe what was happening. He tried to relieve himself by a nearby bush, but nothing came out. The pressure inside him kept rising. His hands shaking, he took out his phone and dialed Bobby. It rang twice before he picked up. "Hello, bro," Bobby said, calm as ever. "How did it go?" Kelvin's voice was thin, almost dry. "Bobby, she said the only way to get my manhood back is to marry her daughter." There was a short pause. "Wait, what?" "Yes. Her daughter is 45. No husband, no child. She said I must marry her, or I'll lose it forever. I have 2 days." Bobby took a deep breath. "Bro, I told you not to give that woman money. Look where it got you. Now you better marry her. You don't really have a choice." Kelvin's breathing quickened. What kind of life is this? What did I do wrong? I only gave her money out of pity. Some people don't want money. They want something deeper, Bobby said. You've fallen into her trap. Now, do what you must and get your life back. Kelvin swallowed hard. I'm scared. Bobby ended the call with a final word. Just marry her. That's your only way out. As the line went dead, Bobby smiled at his phone. Quietly he said to himself, now Cynthia is mine. You've cleared the way, Kelvin. I've loved her from the moment I met her, and now you're out of the picture. He leaned back, still smiling, already thinking about his next move. Meanwhile, Kelvin walked home like a shadow. His steps were slow, his eyes empty, his chest heavy. When he reached his door, Cynthia opened it, worry on her face. Kelvin, where have you been? I've been calling. You didn't pick. What's going on? He forced a small smile. I just needed some space. Needed to think. She touched his face gently. You don't look okay. You're sweating. Your eyes are red. Talk to me. What's wrong? He walked inside without replying. I just want to rest. She followed him. Kelvin. Wait. Don't do this. You've been different since yesterday. Please talk to me. We promised we'd never hide anything from each other. Kelvin sat on the bed and looked away. It's nothing serious. Just stress. I'll be fine. She stepped back slowly. Are you sure? He nodded without meeting her eyes. I just need sleep. Cynthia left quietly, but doubt clouded her mind. Something wasn't right. His silence, the way he avoided her, it all felt off. He barely ate, didn't smile, and refused to open up. She wiped her tears and stood. She had to know the truth. In another part of the city, Bobby picked up his phone and dialed Cynthia. She didn't answer the first few times, but after 5 calls, she finally picked up. Hello, she said, her voice low. Hey, Cynthia, Bobby said, gentle and soft. Sorry to disturb you. I need to say something. What is it? He took a breath. I've kept this in for too long. I like you, Cynthia. I've liked you even before Kelvin came into the picture, but you never noticed. I couldn't stay silent anymore. She paused. Bobby, why are you telling me this now? Because you need to know. Kelvin. He's planning to marry someone else. In a few days. Cynthia's heart dropped. What? What are you talking about? That's why he's been acting strange. He hasn't told you because he knows you'll be hurt. Ask him yourself if you don't believe me. Just don't tell him I said anything. Her body froze. Are you sure about this? Very sure, Bobby replied. Go and ask him. She ended the call, her hands trembling. Her heart pounded painfully. Kelvin can't do this. We picked our wedding date. We printed cards. He loves me, right? But the way he had been behaving lately made her question everything. She walked back to the bedroom and opened the door. Kelvin sat up quickly. She stood at the entrance, voice firm. Kelvin, I need the truth. Are you planning to marry another woman? He froze. What? Who told you that? Bobby called me. He told me everything. Kelvin's eyes widened. He did what? So it's true, she said, voice rising. You couldn't even tell me. What did I ever do to you? You're the man I love. The one I trusted with my heart. And now this. Kelvin reached for her hand. No, Cynthia, please. It's not what you think. She pulled away. Then explain. I'm listening. Tell me why you're marrying someone else. Kelvin's voice cracked. I didn't plan it. I was forced, Kelvin said, barely able to speak. By who? And why? Cynthia shouted, her voice shaking. Kelvin lowered his head, tears slipping down his face. Please forgive me. I don't know what to do anymore. Cynthia covered her mouth, her own tears flowing. Without another word, she turned and ran out of the room. Don't follow me, she cried. I can't believe you, Kelvin. I hate you. She slammed the door behind her. Kelvin sank onto the bed, holding his chest. Breathing became hard. His entire world was falling apart. Elsewhere, Bobby was smiling. Cynthia didn't return that night. She had left in tears and gone straight to her friend's place. Her phone rang several times, but she refused to answer. Eventually, she turned it off and cried herself to sleep. The pain was too much. All she kept asking was, why me? What did I do wrong? By morning, Kelvin hadn't slept either. His eyes were swollen, his head heavy, his chest tight. He sat on the bed, clutching his phone, staring at her photo. Cynthia, please, just pick up. Let me explain, he whispered. His condition was getting worse. The pain in his lower abdomen was like fire. Again, he rushed to the toilet and tried, but nothing came out. He groaned in frustration, fell to the floor, and wept. God, why me? All I did was help a poor woman. Why am I being punished like this? As he stepped out of the bathroom, his phone rang. It was Bobby. At first, he didn't want to answer, but eventually he picked up. Hello, he said weakly. How are you, bro? Bobby asked. I'm not okay. Cynthia left. She's not answering. She didn't come back last night. I'm sorry, man, Bobby replied with fake sympathy. But I warned you. You should have told her the truth. Women hate lies. Kelvin said nothing. You've made a decision yet? Bobby asked. About what? About marrying the old woman's daughter. Today's your second day. If you don't go back now, you're done. Your manhood will be gone forever. Calvin felt tears building again. I can't. I love Cynthia. Then suffer, Bobby replied coldly. Your choice. He ended the call. Calvin dropped the phone and cried out in pain as a sharp cramp hit him. He sat on the floor, holding his stomach. Meanwhile, Bobby stood by the window, smiling. That morning, he had sent Cynthia a message. I know you're hurting. I'm really sorry. Just know that I'm here if you need someone to talk to. Cynthia had seen the message when she woke up. She didn't respond, but she read it again and again. Later that day, Bobby called. Hello, Cynthia. I know this is hard, but I want you to know that I understand. Calvin doesn't deserve you, she replied softly. I don't know what to believe anymore. Believe what you saw, Bobby said gently. He didn't deny anything. He's marrying someone else behind your back. That's not love. Cynthia began to cry again. Why is this happening to me? We were so close. We were about to get married. Sometimes things happen for a reason, Bobby said. Maybe this is God's way of protecting you. And just know, I've always cared about you, even when you didn't notice. Cynthia sniffled. Thank you. Anytime, Bobby smiled. If you want to go somewhere or just talk, I'm here. She ended the call and cried again. But somewhere inside, a part of her began to wonder if Bobby truly cared. Back at home, Calvin sat in silence for hours. Then he slowly stood, walked to the mirror, and stared at his reflection. His face looked like someone he didn't know. His eyes were dull, his lips dry. I can't lose Cynthia, but I can't lose myself either, he whispered. He picked up his phone and looked at the old woman's number. He had saved it the day he met her. He dialed. She picked immediately. I knew you'd call today, she said. I need to talk to you, Calvin muttered. Come to my house. You don't have much time left. He dressed and left. The road felt longer than ever. He walked like a shadow. When he reached her house, she was already outside waiting. You came, she said. I don't have a choice. She led him inside. Have you decided? Calvin nodded slowly. She smiled. So, you'll marry my daughter? Yes. I'll do it. I can't keep living like this. She clapped her hands 3 times. A tall, heavy woman came out from the inner room. Her arms were big, her hair rough, her clothes worn. She had marks on her face and brown teeth. She looked at Calvin with shy eyes. This is her, the old woman said proudly. Your wife. Calvin's chest tightened. When is the wedding? Tomorrow morning. Early. Don't worry. I'll handle everything. Can I go now? Your manhood will return after your wedding night. If you try to run, it's gone again. Calvin nodded and left. Tears filled his eyes as he walked. Cynthia. I'm sorry. When he got home, Cynthia's bag was gone. She had packed up and left. He sat on the bed alone, broken. The wedding happened early the next day. No music, no guests, no joy. Just silence and sorrow. Calvin wore an old native cloth the woman gave him. He looked like someone being led to execution. 15 minutes later, it was done. Back at the house, the woman walked in excitedly. This place is beautiful. My dear husband, we'll enjoy this home. Calvin dropped the keys on the table and looked at her with cold eyes. Listen carefully. I don't love you. I never will. Your wicked mother forced me into this. I'll never be happy with you. The woman turned sharply. You think you're smart? You're stuck with me forever. Try anything, and your manhood disappears again. I am your wife whether you like it or not. Calvin walked into his room and slammed the door behind him. Falling to his knees, he wept. Cynthia. I didn't want this. At her friend's place, Cynthia sat in silence. Her face was pale, her eyes swollen from crying. She hadn't eaten in 2 days. Her friend, Belinda, walked in with a plate. Cynthia, you've not eaten anything. Please eat something. I can't, she whispered. I feel like I'm dying. Calvin betrayed me. He married another woman. Belinda sat beside her. So you're just going to let everything end like this? After all you've built together? Cynthia looked at her with tired eyes. What do you want me to do? He made his choice. I asked him to tell me the truth. He didn't. That means he never truly loved me. Belinda held her hand. But have you ever asked yourself why? What could have made him do something that crazy? Cynthia's voice rose sharply. I don't care anymore. Belinda raised her voice too. Yes, you do. You love him, and it's slowly killing you. Listen to me. I found out everything. Cynthia's eyes widened. What do you mean? That old beggar woman Calvin helped. She's the mother of the woman he just married. When Calvin gave her money, she attacked him spiritually. She took his manhood. He couldn't pee or feel anything. The only way she agreed to free him was if he married her 45-year-old daughter. And she's not just unattractive, she's cruel and arrogant. He was forced, Cynthia. He didn't want it. Cynthia gasped. What? Why didn't Calvin tell me? Belinda said he tried. But you didn't let him explain. You walked out. You were angry, and Bobby filled your head with lies. Cynthia sat down slowly, her heart sinking. So, Bobby lied to me. Belinda nodded. He knew the truth. In fact, he wanted you for himself. That's why he said Calvin was cheating. Bobby isn't your friend, Cynthia. He's dangerous. Stay away from him. Tears spilled down Cynthia's face. So that's what happened. My poor Calvin was suffering and I didn't even give him a chance. Oh God, what have I done? Belinda hugged her. It's not too late. You can still make things right. Cynthia wiped her tears. I won't leave him. I'll fight for him. She looked into Belinda's eyes. Thank you. I don't know what I would have done without you. You're truly a blessing. Belinda smiled warmly. Let's go bring Calvin back. That evening, Cynthia called her pastor and poured her heart out. Pastor, I made a terrible mistake. I judged Calvin too quickly. He was in pain, and I turned away from him. Please, I want to see him. But I can't do it alone. Can you come with me? I'll go with you, my daughter, the pastor replied. Some battles are spiritual. This one needs divine fire. They met at the church gate and took a taxi straight to Calvin's house. Cynthia's heart pounded as they approached. Please God, let him be home, she prayed silently. She knocked. The door opened. The old woman stood there, her face stiff and unreadable. What do you want again? She asked coldly. The pastor stepped forward. Peace be unto this house. I come in the name of Jesus Christ. She hissed. Go back. This is not your concern. When evil dwells in a house, it becomes my concern, he replied. God sent me to destroy the works of darkness. She laughed mockingly. You're wasting your time. The pastor lifted his Bible and began to pray in tongues. The ground trembled slightly. A rush of wind swept through the room. The old woman suddenly dropped to her knees, screaming, Stop! It's burning me! She rolled on the ground, coughing and writhing. You unclean spirit, the pastor commanded. Leave her now in Jesus' name. She screamed louder, then fell still. Her body lay limp. The pastor turned to her daughter. And you? Are you not ashamed? Is Calvin a child to you? The woman dropped to her knees, sobbing. It's not my fault. My mother used charms on me. She stole my beauty. Men rejected me because of her. I'm not this person. Please, man of God, pray for me. I want to be free. The pastor looked at her with compassion. God is merciful. He placed a hand on her head. Lord, restore what the enemy has taken. Let her be made whole. A brilliant light surrounded her. Her skin cleared. Her features softened. Her body transformed. Within moments, she looked young and radiant again. She stared at her reflection, stunned. This is me. I haven't seen this face in 20 years. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Thank you, Jesus. I will never follow my mother's ways again. Never. Cynthia smiled and stepped inside. Where is Calvin? The woman pointed. He's in his room. Cynthia walked to the door and knocked gently. Calvin, it's me. Please open. Inside, Calvin lay on the bed, lost in thought, empty of hope. But the sound of her voice jolted him. He leapt up and opened the door. Cynthia. She threw herself into his arms. I'm sorry. I should have listened. I know everything now. I love you, and I'm not going anywhere. Calvin held her tight, tears running down his face. You came back. Thank you, Jesus. I thought I lost you. They embraced for a long time, their hearts finally at peace. But far away, Bobby stood by his window, trembling with rage. One of his boys had seen Cynthia and the pastor heading to Calvin's house and reported back. So, she's going back to him? He muttered bitterly. Over my dead body. I won't let this happen. I'll take her away by force. That night, Bobby couldn't sleep. He paced like a wild animal. His eyes burned red, his fists clenched. No, I won't allow it. Calvin has stolen everything from me. At dawn, he stormed to the old woman's house and banged on the door. She opened slowly, weary and pale. What do you want? He barged in. This wasn't the plan, he shouted. Calvin was supposed to be trapped in this marriage forever. Why did you let that pastor destroy everything? She stared at him, exhausted. So that's all you care about? More evil. Bobby stepped closer. Yes, that was the deal. You said once he married your daughter, he would be bound to her. Now Cynthia is back in the picture. You ruined it. Her eyes darkened with anger. Bobby, how wicked can you be? I'm done with this evil. Can't you see Cynthia is backed by a man of God? The old woman said in a trembling voice. That fire that entered my house almost destroyed me. I don't want to die in my sins. Bobby hissed, his face twisted with scorn. You're a terrible partner. You let your emotions ruin everything. You're weak. A useless, foolish old woman. She gasped in disbelief. You dare insult me? Yes, I do, Bobby snapped. You had one job, just one, and you failed. A mere pastor frightened you. You're pathetic. The old woman shook her head slowly. Bobby, I used to think I was evil. But you are something worse. You're the devil in human skin. You don't care about Cynthia. You don't care about anyone. You only want to destroy. His eyes burned with rage. You talk too much, you old witch. Watch your mouth. She stood tall, unshaken. Leave my house now, or I'll turn you into something worse than a rat. Bobby laughed mockingly. You'll do nothing. You're finished. You're powerless. All you have left is your foul breath and wrinkled face. Without replying, she turned quietly to a corner of the room, picked up a small black stick covered in strange markings, and pointed it at him. I warned you, she said softly. Bobby smirked. What's that? A toothpick. But before he could finish, he screamed and collapsed, shaking violently. His eyes rolled white. He sprang up, ripped off his shirt, and bolted outside barefoot, howling like a beast. Fire! Water! A lion is chasing me! He rolled on the ground, tore his trousers, and began shouting at trees. Don't arrest me! I'm the president! Cynthia is my wife! Back at Kelvin's house, Cynthia and Kelvin prayed with the pastor, unaware of what had just happened to Bobby. But as they lifted their voices, the Spirit of God was already fighting on their behalf. Later that morning, the three sat in silence in the living room as the pastor read from the Bible. What the enemy intended for evil, God has turned for your good. Cynthia held Kelvin's hand tightly. We're finally free, she whispered. Kelvin nodded, eyes moist. God rescued me. I would have lost everything if not for you, Pastor. And you, Cynthia. You came back when I had nothing left. A knock came at the door. It was Belinda, beaming with excitement. Have you heard? She asked. Heard what? They both responded. Bobby has gone mad, she exclaimed. He was seen running through the streets, shouting nonsense, pouring water on himself. He even bit someone and ran into the bush near the market. Cynthia gasped. Bobby. Belinda nodded. Yes. He insulted that old woman and she warned him. He mocked her, and she struck him with something. Right there, he lost his mind. The pastor gently closed his Bible. Touch not the Lord's anointed. Evil always bows before righteousness. Kelvin sighed deeply. He betrayed me. Used me. All because of Cynthia. Cynthia shook her head. He never loved me. He just wanted to destroy what wasn't his. The pastor stood up. Now that this battle is over, it's time to give thanks. This Sunday, I want both of you to come to church and share your story. People must hear what the Lord has done. Cynthia and Kelvin agreed. We'll be there. Meanwhile, the old woman and her daughter were also transforming. The daughter, now radiant and free, cleaned the house as tears ran down her cheeks. Mama, I want a new life. I want to serve God. I don't want to be part of darkness anymore. The old woman sat quietly, then nodded. You're right. I've done terrible things. But that man of God, he saved me too. I felt something leave my body when he prayed. I want to go to that church. I want to give my life to Christ. Her daughter hugged her tightly. We'll go together, Mama. Sunday arrived, and the church was full. Cynthia and Kelvin stood at the altar and shared their testimony. As they spoke, tears flowed, people shouted, and hands were raised in praise. The pastor prayed over them and blessed their upcoming marriage. After the service, the old woman and her daughter walked slowly to the front, tears in their eyes. They knelt and surrendered their lives to Christ. The congregation erupted in joy. "Only God can do this," someone shouted. Weeks passed, and Kelvin and Cynthia's wedding preparations resumed. This time with joy, peace, and powerful testimonies. On their wedding day, the pastor smiled as he declared, "What the enemy planned for shame, God has turned to glory. This is the hand of the Lord." They exchanged vows and danced, their faces glowing with love and restoration. Belinda danced with joy, shouting, "My best friend is married. God has done it." The old woman and her daughter sat quietly at the back, smiling. "I'm not a witch anymore," she whispered. "I am a new woman." As for Bobby, no one saw him again. Some say he still wanders the village, tied in ropes. Others claim he simply stares at the sky in silence. But one thing was certain: evil never wins. And when love is genuine, no force can destroy it. Dear viewers, what did you learn from this powerful story? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed it, give us a like, share with your loved ones, and don't forget to subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss our next inspiring story.